live session, and I'm curious to see if anyone wants to pop on and talk about how you deal with health problems and trying to work or being successful at your job with health problems without um, hurting yourself. So I'm just gonna talk randomly and hope that as people are scrolling by, they can see my mouth moving and think, "Hey, that's interesting." So uh, first, I am wearing my compression fingerless gloves. I've had them on for about an hour. I'm gonna take them off on this side. This one I already took off. Let's see how swollen up my hands were. Why am I wearing this? These are for arthritis, and it helps. The little compression on it helps with the arthritis pain. Also, I had my first ever episode of edema in my fingers yesterday, and I think that's from my congestive heart failure. So this looks really good. So I don't think my hand was very swollen since I've been up, and I've been up since about 6:30. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to wear these now all the time, unless it was a fluke. I'm hoping it was a fluke this week. I don't think it was. I already could feel my foot swelling up, and I have my compression hose on, so that's not good. Anyway, so I'm gonna check my foot right now. Oh, I bought these orthopedic sandals. They're pretty cute. No, it just hurts. So I'm going to show you the sandal without my foot in it. These are great. These are fantastic if you work on your feet and you want to wear sandals. These are actually, I think, these are hiking sandals, and they're great for anti-slip. So if you're worried about slipping and hurting your back, these are good, and they are adjustable in 3 different ways. I'm not trying to sell these. I don't have an affiliate or anything like that, but they're adjustable in 3 different ways. And I have a minor birth defect, malformation, whatever you want to call it, in my foot, actually in both my feet and both my hands. And I need to keep this part of my foot with no pressure on it. So I bought these. These worked really nice in the summertime for just like walking around. And I usually wear them in the house too. Ow. Thank you, Mr. El Ratan. El Ratun. Ratan. Thank you. Yeah, you're not going to think I'm so sexy when you hear all the complaints I have. Anyway, these sandals are not going to work out for school because my foot swelled up. My foot still hurts. It's been 2 days. I'm doing okay. I'm awake. I'm sitting up. I'm doing a live stream because it makes me feel like I'm getting stuff done. Usually, if I don't, before I started doing YouTube, I would just be lying around like a lump on a Sunday. So this is good. Anyway, so these are a no-go for school, and I'm going to take them off right now. I'm a substitute teacher. That's what I'm saying, school. Hey, thanks, everybody. You like Indian food? Hey, where'd you come from? Wow, there's a lot of conversations in here. Okay. I have a very, and I'm sorry to say this, it might be construed as racist. I have a very white tongue. Okay, it's white. It's very, very. Let me show you a demonstration in case you can't envision what white is. This is white. Oh, my shirt. I can't eat anything spicy. Got too much stuff going on. Sorry. My example is, depending on what demographic I'm in, saltine crackers might be too spicy for me. Flour tortilla might be too spicy for me. White rice might be too spicy for me. So thank you for asking me about that. Hey, from the Philippines. All right, our Hispanic brethren. I'm not Hispanic, but I work in Phoenix. So yeah. I am originally from Ohio, which is a Midwestern state here in the United States. So I have a little bit of an accent. My bloodline is from Italy, from southern Italy. And that is why I look very green on here. I don't have the beauty camera on. Or maybe I have it on like one. I should have put it on because I look pretty green. That's the oliveness in me. So thank you. Germany. Thank you. Huffman is my last name. I married a nice German man. Huffman translates to white farmer. There you go. And the mafia. Oh, finally, someone asked about the mafia. It has been years since anybody asked me that. That's all I got growing up. You know anybody in the mafia? My answer growing up was, of course, I don't know anyone in the mafia. No. Then when I was about 30, I found out that I knew a lot of people that were in the mafia, my friends' parents. I just didn't catch it on. Like, oh, my dad had to go to jail for stealing a truck. Yeah, he hijacked a truck because he was in the mafia. Low level. Not my family. My family was not good at it. And yeah, so that wasn't, yeah. Okay, last time I saw you on a bus station. You saw me in real life? You better stop talking. Why am I talking? Okay, first, if you saw me in a bus stop, that must have been a long time ago because I haven't been on a bus for about. Oh, no, I did take the bus to you. Oh, yeah, I took a bus last year and I got lost. So funny. Anyway, all right, hey, okay. Take care, Mama. Dan Lester. Oh, wow, that's a nice long name. Okay. No, I don't understand German at all. My husband was very, very American. His family came over sometime in the mid 1800s. So no one spoke German or Irish. He's super white. He's Irish. Okay, my husband has passed. I speak of him in the present tense sometimes. He's been gone for 17 years, so that's weird. He was Irish, English. Sorry, English people. German, Welsh. Yeah. I said that's correct. It's been like a year. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, because I moved from the east side to the west side. So when I got on the bus, I was so confused. If you live in Phoenix, it's just super easy to get around, but I was so confused. Oh, that's so funny. All right, someone asked if I am single. I am single. I will not get married again. Sorry. Or maybe I will. I don't know. If you subscribe and watch my videos, leave that out there. No, I am not. I don't know. I don't think I have enough to offer to a significant other. This is truth. I just posted a little TikTok. This is truth. This whole video today is supposed to be complaining about my numerous health problems. Look, here's a list of them. Takes up the whole page. So I'm pretty much a physical wreck. So dinner with Jay-Z or dinner at Diddy. Let's see. This Diddy. Okay, I don't know who's out of fashion right now. I like that anchor though. All right. Nautical. I don't know. Hey, I'm the kind of person that if I win tickets to anything, like a movie, or my thing is, like if I got tickets to like the Olympics, Disneyland, the movies, I would give it to one of my kids and their husbands. Why do you have gloves on? I have gloves on because these are for arthritis and for edema, because I had an incident of hand swelling yesterday. It was very scary. I have congestive heart failure, which sounds worse than it is. Oh, I am a substitute teacher in the Phoenix area. And school just started for us, and Monday is the first day of school, and I hope students aren't watching because it's indoor recess tomorrow. Oh my God, because it's too hot out. Hey, Fallon. Hey, you're here again. All right, I'm going to call you Jimmy. Sorry, I'm not going to call you Jimmy. I'm sorry. Probably got that all the time. So I'm wearing this. I'm also wearing my compression hose, see, and my SpongeBob socks. I'm 60 years old, and I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear, and if people don't like it, I don't care anymore. So yeah, there you go. Would you get with go? Oh my God, Dan, how dare you talk like that? My channel, I have a lot of subscribers that are minors because I am a teacher. So this is a try and keep this PG. So I will not answer that question, but I will say that I only have one pair of these. So I pretty much will have to take these off if I do anything that possibly maybe is. Look what just popped up. Compression sale. Yes, that's how you know you're old, when you get excited, when you get that. Do you have to bear a gun at school? No. No, I don't have to. I know you might wear a gun to school. I live in Arizona, and you can have your sidearm right on your hip at school, but you are prohibited from having guns in public places like the library, schools. No. That will get you fired really, really fast. And my school is not dangerous at all, so that's good. Hey, Elvis Aaron Presley, welcome back. And no, my school. No, I'm in kindergarten through 8th grade, and there genuinely is really, it's just a really fantastic group of kids. So my last name is Koch, but in German it's Cook, but the Americans say Coach Croak. I know. Well, my name is actually Huffman, but we pronounce it Huffman, and I'm sure it's actually pronounced Hoffman. And I do get a lot of Hoffman, which is spelled with a U. Whatever. So, would you get, okay, does it clap? I know what you're talking about, Dan, who continues to be naughty. Yeah, I can clap with them on. There we go. Anyway, so, well, this is fun. Okay. Yeah, Americans pronounce things, it's all about, God, I interrupted myself in the middle of a sentence. I do that all the time. It's just the way things are pronounced differently. Like my maiden name is Trevisano or Trevisano. You speaking German just making me feel someone. Oh. Well, English is a weird language with a lot of the words are French and a lot of the words are German. And I was just going to ask you if we watch these YouTubers. I want to call them Calvin and Hobbes, but it's not. It's a real tall guy and the shorter guy, and they're either German or Austrian. They play different characters. Oh, they are so funny. I love them. Yeah. So I know if I watch a foreign language movie, if it's in German, I always have the subtitles on anyway. Oh my God. You're going to make me talk about the freaking Nazis. Hey, I'm Italian, and no one seems to talk about the Italians. They were the enemy during World War II. And this is a joke that I'm stealing from those comedians. So this is a stolen joke. It's still funny. But that's because the Italians have good food. Thank you. Thank you. And the Germans just have bread. I love the bread stuff. It's so funny. Yeah, well, the Nazis, not good. Not good. They look good. They have fantastic uniforms, right? Right? And, there was a lot of things that that exist today that's good from Hitler's reign. Sorry. The Autobahn, I never knew what the Autobahn was. That was for the deployment of the military. Autobahn's it's pretty fantastic. If you don't know what that is, I don't even know what it is. It's the freeway system there. And George Floyd. Can't breathe. I'm trying to think. I'm laughing, not laughing at that. I'm thinking in my head. I'm trying to think of Rodney before George Floyd, before all this. There was Rodney. What the heck was his name? Anyway, I don't know what you mean by his opinion. By opinion on that, you have to put more words in there. Yeah, so the Nazis, okay, just to reiterate, the Nazis were not good. And we are still feeling some of the effects from that. We're definitely still feeling the effects. So there were some positive things which be like the Audubon. The Germans invented the twist tie. So Rodney King. Thank you, Rodney King. Rodney King was the pivotal case in the United States that where laws were changed, where police officers had to go through training. And he got really beat up bad because that's a high stress. You're chasing someone, they're fighting you. Policemen are humans, you're going to respond with violence. So it resulted in a lot of training. So that was a really unfortunate situation that resulted in the riots and stuff. Three different kinds of bread. Every time when I come home and I'm too tired to eat, I'm having cold whole wheat bread with seeds and a cold piece of cheese on top of it. I think the effects of having been married to a German. Well, he's like maybe a half German. So yeah. Vogelsbrot. Okay, I'm going to assume that's some kind of German in there. Oh, you guys have been talking about a whole different topics here. So yeah, so Rodney King, if you haven't seen Chris Rock's videos from when he had the Chris Rock show, look that stuff up. That stuff is funny. That is not appropriate for this channel. So I will not talk about it because it involves a lot of swearing, but it's pretty funny. Oh, is that how you say sauerkraut? Oh God, do not like sauerkraut. We had a lot of, the neighborhood I grew up in was a lot of Europeans. It was primarily second or third generation of Italians, Jews, and Germans. And so there were a lot of, Carlos, you're there! Carlos is a child, so you guys be nice. Carlos, I forgot all about whether or not you're coming back to school or if you're someone who moved. Please let me know. So I did have friends whose parents had the tattoos on the arms from being in the concentration camps. That was kind of scary. My father was in the 43rd Armored Division, which fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Of course, my father was alive. He lived through that. So he was in the tank division, that's why it was called Armor. So that was cool. I'll tell you our worst teaching story. I'm in California. You did move to California. Well, I hope you're in Southern California because it's beautiful there. It's also beautiful in Northern California, but the weather is more up and down. Carlos, be happy you're not going to school on Monday here, only because it's indoor recess, because it's going to be hot like the center of the sun. Carlos, I'm going to miss you. I'm sorry. If you want, you can ask your parent or guardian to call the school with your forwarding address, and I will mail you one of those little heart keychains that I gave out to the kids. Yeah. My worst teaching story is that Carlos is moving. I saw Carlos on my roster, and I thought, is Carlos really in 6th grade? That seems too old. Wrong Carlos. I was temporarily excited, Carlos. Not you. So I hope your move went well. It's very stressful to move. Trust me, I moved, and it was not good. And every time I move, I lose more stuff. So, yeah. Okay, what was I talking about? My worst teaching story. Did I have it? Okay, well, I work primarily as a substitute teacher. So the last 3.5 years, I've worked at the same place. So it's easier when you stay in the same spot. But as a regular substitute, every day is horrible because kids do not treat substitutes like regular teachers, which a lot of times they are not. So I do not have a teaching degree. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration from a Jesuit university, John Carroll University in Ohio. And I'm laughing because someone just put, can you send me a keychain? My hope is that I will get monetized on here. Please subscribe. I'm a physical wreck. Look at all these. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all these health problems. I know it's backwards. I'm hoping that if I get monetized, I'll be able to have some kind of merchandise like that. So the little keychains. Do I even have one around? I wasn't going to do crochet today. Okay, let me see. I Googled sourdough. Oh, sourdough. Oh, sourdough's great. My late husband's favorite was sourdough. So when oh, damn, you subbed. You know what it's like, right? All right, here is some crochet. This is something different. Oh, sorry. All right. I don't have any hearts. I'm afraid if I get up and leave, you guys all go. I go. I'll tell you. Okay, so let's see. My worst teaching story. Let me answer. My worst teaching story was when I worked for a particular school. I won't say who. It was just horrible. And why was it horrible? Not because of the students. Students are very challenging, especially when they don't speak English, because it's very confusing for them, because they don't know what's going on, and because the state of Arizona requires that you teach in English to kids that don't speak English, but somehow teach them to speak English. It's very confusing. So it wasn't the students. It was the way the school was run, and it was not a public school. It was a public school, I'm sorry. It was not the school I worked for. How much do I earn? You can't ask me that. Okay, I am not a classroom teacher. I'm the lowest paid of all the teachers, just so you know, as an employee who worked for the district. And that is good. That is appropriate because a substitute does less than half the work of what a classroom teacher does. Classroom teachers I don't even know. I just know that I made about half. I maybe do not do. Why aren't you going to go to school, Carlos? Are you still getting set up? California is different. All the states are different on their requirements for attendance in school. So if you're watching from another country, everything is done by the state, because that's how our country was originally set up, was that the states were supposed to be more powerful than they are now. So like in Ohio, they can do 170 days or less. In Arizona, it's 180 days, 45, 45, 45, 45. So, yeah. All right, wait, let me see if I can find this little heart. Okay, don't leave. I'm right here. Okay. All right. So I would say that was my worst experience teaching. And then my worst day at school was also kind of a funny day, because I had these kids that were so mean to me. I had a stapler thrown at me. I had those little fireworks that you throw. And those kids, I was just like laughed at them because they missed every time. I'm like, you guys are like 20 feet away. My 2-year-old great nephew threw a penny at me from 20 feet, hit me right here on the flat of my nose and broke my nose. 2 years old. These kids couldn't even throw. But yeah, okay. Here's the little heart I'm talking about, because you can't imagine. Look how cute that is. I put these on little keychains, and then I told the kids if they subscribed to my channel, I would give them one, and then I did. So I'll show you some of the other crochet stuff. Here's a white one. It's kind of hard to see. I have my camera on. So yeah, so maybe in the future I can do the heart thing in the mail. I do have I need a cup of coffee, and that's supposed to have products on it. I haven't gotten to that yet. I don't crochet and to sell things anymore because my hands hurt too much. So that's what I'm doing. Look how cute the ghost is. Are you scared? Boo. Okay. Here's a flower. A little hat. Here's a spider. Anyway, this is my little container of things that I have to put away that I was using. Here's a big ghost. So, General UT. Okay, hey, hi, person. Sometimes when you are messaging, it takes a little bit for me to see it. So, I hope I'm not ignoring anybody. Your brothers win soccer. Oh, okay. Okay, your brother's got a soccer tournament. Okay, you probably have to travel somewhere. Very nice, very nice. I know, soccer's so huge now. When I was in school, we didn't learn about soccer. I went to school in the 60s. Well, I graduated in 1982. So we didn't learn soccer. We learned every sport, pretty much. Baseball, fencing, archery in high school. Not soccer because of racism, I think. I am 6'10". I was in the 10. I'm out of the school. Oh, very nice. So you were, okay, wow, you're a tall guy. I am 5 feet tall, so I'm like this tall. And you're like this tall, so that's. Yep, my dad was 5'4", 5 feet tall when he died because he shrunk. You tall guys, make sure you're exercising and stuff so you don't shrink away. That's a bummer. That's a definite bummer. My husband was 5'10". He managed to keep his height, but he died very young, so that was a plus. Kept his height. Sorry, a little dark humor there. And 16. Oh, okay. Well, public school is required in the United States, and it's guaranteed, I should say, through the federal constitution. I couldn't think of the word. But it is delegated to the state. So each state can make its own rule. And so for Arizona, they decided that it should be 180 days. And then other states, it could be longer. I looked it up online. There are some states where it's set up for 200 days. So usually it is at the very end of May and then at the very beginning of August. So it's a 10-month calendar, so you're off for 2 months. So I was used to having 3 months off, and I'm going to tell you, it still burns me up that for the last 10 years that I've been working as a substitute or as a classroom teacher or as a long-term sub, that I only got 2 months off in the summertime. We used to have summer was from Memorial Day, American holiday, Memorial Day for to honor veterans who died in service, to Labor Day, which was to honor all of the unions and the people who work. So that was great. I made my age is 16. Oh, okay. I thought you meant you were 1610, like 16, whatever. It's fine. Wow, that's good. It's better for men to be tall. I have to drink some water. It is for working, for jobs. It is better. It's men that are taller than average have a greater chance of work or commanding because you're above someone looking down, so you're more authoritative. You probably have some Viking blood in you. The Vikings. Oh my God, in Game of Thrones. I know it's not the Vikings, but they have swords. And I know Vikings did not use swords. And I know why, because I watched the whole video. Please, it's his birthday. Whose birthday? What's going on? Whose birthday? Can I scroll in here? Please, it's his birthday. I don't know what that means. Please, it's his birthday. Can you send a keychain? Oh. Oh, look at all the wrinkles. It could be great. Okay, it's fine. Oh, hey man, send me, all right, I have, ow, don't rub your eye. Send me an email. I still have stamps. I bought stamps 10 years ago, and I still have a bunch of stamps. So, yeah, send me, in my description on my channel is my email address. It's something like Crocheting into Retirement with that Michelle, that's me, at youtube.com. But it's in there. If you send me an email, maybe I'll send you the keychain. I already have the stamp, so it's not like I'm putting out any money. But I don't know if I can actually send the keychain part. I could send a little heart. Where'd I put it? But you have to send me an email. Please don't type your address here. Don't let everybody know where you live. So send me an email. Yeah. What were we talking about? Yeah, so it's just, like I said, so it just depends on where you are in the States. And we are set up, I think it's because of agriculture, we are no longer, oh no, I was talking about swords and Vikings. Okay, Vikings used the axes a lot, an axe, because it was a useful tool for every day. It was good for throwing and throwing at people and stuff, and it was also good for chopping wood. So, and forging metal is, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, send me an email, and I check my email every day and cry because no one ever sends me one. I'll be so excited. I'll be like, yeah, it's on its way. Let's see, do I have my little... In the United States, we have something called forever stamps. For you young people under the age of 35, you don't even know what that is, and that's okay. That's when you get something in the mail when the mailman comes, and that used to be the most exciting part of the day. One of them for kids was to go check the mail, and now maybe, I don't know, most people check their mail, I think. If you have to go to a mailbox maybe once a week, it's just filled with junk mail. But they sell these things called forever stamps, and the postage, if the postage goes up, you never have to pay more. Look, it's stamps. And look, I have them in a bag. Yeah, see? And here's my envelopes. Okay. And international is $1.48. So yeah, so if you want me to do this, then you're going to have to include in your email a picture of you subscribing plus 10 other people. That's a joke. But please subscribe. And don't unsubscribe until after I have at least 600 people. Please. Please, I don't want to leave my house. I did so good over the summertime because I was able to change my position throughout the day. So I can sit for a while now. It's fantastic. And then I will lie down for a while. And then I will walk around for a while. But if I'm teaching, they want you to stand the whole time. And I can't lie down at school. I hardly ever, well, I can at my break. But now I'm working as, I'm covering for someone who's out having a baby. So I'm not going to have a 45-minute break. Anyway, listen, I have the envelopes out. I have the stamps. This is for domestic. This is for within the United States. I don't even remember how much these cost. We'll say 50 cents. I'll mail it to you. But if you're international, like I said, I have to go to the post office. God only knows how long that's going to take because I seriously don't like leaving the house. I got to go to work every day. Okay, so that's that. All right. I'll be so disappointed if you don't send me an email. Every day I check. Oh, and I had a scam artist. Well, now I know it was a scam artist. Was like, I'm going to send you $1,200 by check, and then you are going to send me back $800 or some crap like that. And I was like, hey, man, send it through the Cash App. And I checked. They didn't send it. Very upsetting. All right, I have my stamps out in the envelope. Let me close this little container up. Oh, I'm so happy I came on here. This is fantastic. All right, so we talked about Carlos moving to California. Carlos, I don't know if you know this. I forgot to say this. I dedicated one of my Seeker's Notes gameplays for you. Hey, I also play Seeker's Notes. It's a free game from Mytona, which is Ukrainian, or it's Nick Kerr birthday. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Nick Kerr birthday. I don't know if that's a name. I don't know if that's a famous person that I'm supposed to know. I don't know. Oh, I did say that if I got tickets to the Olympics and if they were in Arizona, if they were just down the street, I wouldn't go. It's too crowded, it's too loud, it's too noisy. I'd give those, I'd make my kids fight for them. Anyway. Okay. So, I was talking about Game of Thrones. It's the season finale tonight. I'm so excited. So what I'm going to do after I get off of here is I'm going to go move some stuff around in my room. I just ordered something that's getting delivered. His name is Nick Kerr's birthday. Can you say happy? Yes, put this in an email. Put it on an email. Do you know how to email? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that you don't know how to email, but now I'm thinking maybe you don't know how. It's like, I'm trying to be funny, so don't get all upset. An email is like a direct message, but you have to put it on an email platform. Okay, so just go into my description, click on it, copy and paste it, it'll take you to the thing. And I'll send it to you an old-time email. Okay? Okay, his name is Nick Kerr's birthday. Oh, I'm saying happy birthday. Hey, yo, Nick Kerr. Hey, maybe I'll put this in the live stream when I upload it as a video. I'll put that I'll put Nick Kerr's birthday. I'll dedicate it to Nick Kerr. Okay, I understand. Sometimes I read these really fast and I don't know what I'm reading exactly. So, all right, I have to drink some more water. Okay. So what's this? Wow, in Germany you earn around. Yeah, Americans complain that we pay a lot in taxes, and we really don't compared to Mike Oxlong. Happy birthday. I didn't mean to make a face when I said your name. Happy birthday to anyone who was watching. Enjoy every birthday that you have. This is your unique experience in the world, being alive. A nice birthday is a milestone. You made it a whole nother year. And if you're a child, it's usually the most dangerous part of your life. Enjoy that you made it this far. And I wish you to have many, many more happy birthdays to Mike and to Nick. Yes, Nick. Okay. Yeah, so the teachers get really underpaid here. And it's, because we have to pay for our insurance too. So, there's a benefit of having a more socialistic system set up where you do pay a lot in taxes, but then you get a lot in services from your government. And that's easier to do in smaller countries. So I'm not saying that Germany is small. There's 10,000 castles in Germany. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you pay a lot in taxes, but you get a lot of services. Where here, unfortunately, teachers don't get paid that much. You don't get any benefits. So one of the benefits of being a teacher is that it is included within your for your contract. And not a lot of places have contracts. It's very, very different than Europe. So like if you quit here, you are not getting. Oh, okay, bye, Dan. Thank you for saying have a great day. Thank you for the little heart, because I have my little heart too. Thank you. Yeah, but America is an experience in democracy and in capitalism, and an experience. I meant to say an experiment. It's the first modern country to have democracy. So, Barry. Now, if that's a sports person, I don't know anybody. If it's a young artist, I don't know. I don't know. Who is it? Explain this to me. Is it his birthday? Happy birthday. And if it's not your birthday, save this part of the video. Play it on your birthday. Now I not want to know who this is. Barry. I know he's Irish. Is he funny? I'm writing this down. And you can tell when someone is American and really Irish. Can you say his name? Barry? No, because it's gonna say, I'm looking at the spelling of this name, and I don't know, you're gonna make me say something funny, like, Barry. Do I got it? I'm gonna say Coach. Barry McCoachner. There we go. I'm gonna say it like that. Barry McCoachner. What county are you from? From County Mayo? Where are you from? You're from County Mayo? It's the only county I can think of offhand in Ireland. I'm just recently listening to you're from the north of Ireland. Do you have that accent from the north of Ireland? I'm sorry. I'm reading Angela's Ashes, which is a memoir of a person from Ireland. And it's very sad and stuff, but it's all about being Irish. And then my son-in-law Point, because he lives right across over there, his family's from County Mayo, or Mayo. I say Mayo because I'm so ingrained with saying it in Spanish. Oh, yeah. It's all about the vibe, right? There you go. That's why I do this in the up and down stream, so people see it. If you do it in the wide screen, I guess nobody sees it. I don't know. And I don't like to edit. Stuff. So when I make this go live, it's just going to be this. I'm not cutting anything out because I don't have time for that. Okay. It's not the thing I want to look at right now. You made my day. Have a great rest of the week. Oh, thank you. I'm happy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying. This person is saying, you made my day. Have a great day, rest of the stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am here for people to watch and to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Sorry. And not one of my cats has interrupted me, which is interesting. So I am probably going to pop off. Nope, I'm not going to leave for about another 10 minutes or so. So does anyone have any questions about health problems? Does anyone want to hear about mine? Any birthdays? Okay. So I'm going to just scroll in here and see if I missed any. Wow, that's a lot of people talking in here. This is great. What is this little arrow? Oh, that's an anchor. How do you have gloves on? And this 300 different kinds of different breads. Yeah. Oop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Please like and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that. Oh, I know my worst day of teaching. It's the day that I got hit by a car riding my bicycle to school. I ride a pedal assist bike, and she is over here. You can see her handlebars. See her little handlebars right there? Can I pull this up? What's on here? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, where's she at? Okay, I'm sorry. There's her handlebars. She's right by the front door. It's way too hot here to bike. It has a pedal on it. Please don't think that I have. As a former athlete, I find it very depressing to be in the condition that I am now, which is not healthy. But yeah, I was riding my bike to school, and someone hit me with their car. And thankfully, they stopped. And they had insurance, which was great. So I'm going to do a really, really close up. So please, you're going to see some stuff that you can't see from her. But it's not that bad because my skin is so fair. But see it's about an inch long. That is from my helmet ripping my skin when I hit the windshield of her car. She was making a left-hand turn. And I was going straight, left-hand turn, and it hit me, and I went up. So I landed on the car. I broke my shoulder here. And then I went up, hit my head on the windshield. That part I don't remember. That part is still fuzzy. And then I landed down on my hip and on my elbow. I broke my elbow. I landed on my hip. Thankfully, I have a little bit of fat there, so I didn't break my hip. But I was pretty messed up. That's why I had to stop crocheting for quite a while, and I will always have problems with the shoulder. So, yeah. That was 2.5 years ago. This still hurts. I had a student. I don't know how many stitches they put in here. It's from here. It's like pretty long. Oh, there's a good shot of it. Look at that. And I don't pull my hair down to cover it. I pull my hair down so it doesn't look all insane because my hair is just whatever. Anyway, so that was an interesting experience. And I know it happened at 7:33 because when I checked on Google Maps says, you have arrived. And I was like, I certainly have, haven't I? So I got hit by the car and I'm laying there and I hear from the lady, oh my God, what did I hit? And I was like, oh, you hit me. And then I heard someone else, because it's Phoenix and this was outside of a gas station. They said, oh my God, get out of the road. And I think they saw my bike in the road. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get run over by another car. And thankfully I didn't. So that was an experience. So that would probably be my worst day of teaching, even though I hadn't technically been at school. The bike was fine. That's the bike I got hit on. That was a fantastic bike. I bought that during COVID. And yeah. So let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we have a lot of station. Oh my God. You're an immigrant. Would I ever emigrate? Wait, let me read this again. I don't know what the unemployment rate here is. And I know that most people will not move from the United States to other countries unless this is what I think. I don't have any idea if this is true or not. I think if you're retired, there are countries where the cost of living is very, very cheap if you're an American, and you can live there without losing your or giving up your citizenship. So I don't think you're allowed to vote then. I think you have to be, no, you can still vote. What am I thinking? You can still vote. I don't know. But I don't know. I know that countries are actually encouraging people to move because population rate has gone down too. Like it's so expensive now. It's like, why didn't you buy a house in the 1990s? It doesn't matter if you weren't alive. You should have just done it. And I was actually in real estate in 2008 when the market crashed here, and the market will never be the same because of technology. And I'm not going to go into that because that's boring real estate stuff. But maybe now we have yeah, there's always going to be a shortage for teachers because one, teaching is incredibly difficult now. When it used to be teaching was a perfect job for women. Because you could go to school when the kids are at school and you could be home in time to make dinner for your husband when he comes home from work, at 6 o'clock. And no, teacher's job is never done. It's never done. You're behind the first day of school. I can't believe how behind I am. And that's because I'm doing a long term for a teacher who's out. I'm already behind. I don't even know who's in my class yet because it's just, you have to just see who's enrolling. And when you live in a big city, and a city like Phoenix is very transient, you have people moving in, moving out, but the city yet is always growing. So I think a lot of people, just to answer your question again, I don't know what the unemployment rate is. I know that teaching is so much harder than it used to be. And then there are just so many people. There's so many people. There's too many people. The cities can't even keep up with building schools. So schools get overpopulated, and then technology moves too fast. Finally, you get some desktop computers, and now it's like, oh, you need Chromebooks, and then you get Chromebooks, and now you need iPads. Now you have iPads, and now you're going to need, what are you going to use next? What's after an iPad? Why don't they just use their phones? They already have phones. But in general, I think there's just a lot of shakeup in the economy with it's just it's tough, and I don't know. I know that I am happy that I have a bachelor's degree because that makes me instantly more employable than other people who don't. And I know that it's super important to have a high school diploma here in the States or its equivalent, because if they're picking, even jobs that are very very first level jobs, it's so very, very competitive. And if they're looking at two people that are actually equally the same, person who has a high school diploma is going to get picked over the person with a GED if everything else is equal. And that's not fair. I have a daughter who has a GED. Yeah, and a lot of people think also that like the United States does not, as a government, does not like Mexico and Canada. And we don't. I mean, that's wrong. I said that wrong. We have these, our three countries right here, and the governments all like each other. And the United States loves immigrants. Please immigrate here. Please do this. Please do it legally. Or present yourself at the border like you're supposed to. And then hope that you can get in. But because immigrants usually have more children. And The United States does not have a program, but like Italy has a program. I know that for sure. Move to Italy. We'll give you this land and this old house. Please live here and have babies here. That's what that's all about. So I don't know if I answered your question. I'm sorry. But there's always going to be a teacher shortage. And then I know, oh wait, yeah, and then this is why we have what's called charter schools. And these are schools that are considered, they could either be public school. And here in the United States, it's the opposite of like England. Public school means it's provided by the government or funded by the government, funded by tax dollars. Don't even get me started on that because it's all uneven. And the private schools are, you pay tuition to get into it. And charter schools can be either one, but charter schools are a lot of times the answer for growing cities or stuff because they will build the school, they will take on the cost of building the school. So, yeah, it's a mess. I don't know. There's no easy solutions. If there was an easy solution, it would already be done. And now we have an election coming up. God. Crazy stuff happening. Crazy stuff. All right, ask me another question. Is somebody? Oh, wow, that was fast. Yeah, it's rough. It's very, very rough. And it's because I'm sorry, the comment is education system is horrible in America. It's crazy. People would think otherwise. Private education is a no-brainer. Too much you can't control in public education. Yeah, and even in private schools, there's challenges in the private schools too. And I'm talking about student behavior. So if you have like very wealthy kids, then they tend to treat the teachers like they are servants or employees of the household. And then if you have working class students, it's just, well, it depends on I mean, I live in Phoenix, so like probably, I don't know. My school is, I think, 96% Hispanic, which is just such a weird term to use anyway, but, which is very nice. They have their own little community. And then the high schools have more demographic in it, but still primarily Hispanic, which just means a lot of language, a lot of people who don't speak English. So you have, I don't know how many of our kids are still learning English, which is a requirement, is to learn English. Yeah, so there's a big push to privatize schools. That's very political. I don't even want to get into that. And that's because if you are a wealthy person or a well-to-do person, your kids are going to go to private school. And people don't in general, want to have to pay taxes for something that they're not going to benefit from directly. But you do benefit from public education as an individual American, so to speak, because the public education is benefiting the country. That's the ideal. And it's not supposed to be an exhaustive, deep, ingrained education system. You're just learning the basics, learn how to read and write. The average American reads at a fourth grade reading level. That's really sad. That's what our literacy rate is, and numeracy is even lower. So it is, yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you can send your kids to private school, I mean, I would do it. My family, for a while, we enjoyed being middle class until something happened. And then when I was growing up, so we did go to Catholic school. And that was when, you had to be Catholic to go to that school. So you no longer can, they discriminate against non-Catholics. I mean, you're going to be praying. They're going to, whatever. So I'm sorry, this person is saying their younger kids go to Catholic school and older kids. And I think it's because if you're in a private school, you can have a different kind of discipline where you're not as worried necessarily about being sued. So like when I was in school, corporal punishment was definitely legal. and it was definitely used. And it's still legal. It's legal here in Arizona, and don't think it's ever going to be used. As a teacher, I can't even touch a student. I'm not supposed to hug a student. Like, why would you hug a student? If a little 6-year-old or a 5-year-old kindergartner comes up to you and gives you a hug, that's okay. You can't go up and hug them. You're not even, so you can't go like this. Hey, calm down. You can't go, hey, how you doing? You're not allowed to touch them at all. And if you do, then it has to be documented. So, yeah, accountability is a problem. And I think it's also, we have so many people and things are really, really rough now. And it's really difficult. It's a difficult situation for people. And if you've never been in a situation where you are living under-resourced, I'm going to assume that if your kids can go to private school, that you have money. And money is not the only resource that is important. It's religion or some kind of, if you're not religious, some kind of creed or something, but it's money, both parents, religion, all these things, all social community, all work together to benefit the child. So if you are a working class person and you are struggling to make ends meet and you work 2 jobs because you're in a survival mode and your children, their welfare comes first and keeping them living in a house is the most important. There's going to be a deficit there somewhere. There's going to be, yeah, I'm agreeing. Someone assume. Absolute. Okay, so first we have, parents being accountable for their children's education. Absolutely. And like I said, it's easy, I'm not being rude to you. I'm just saying it's easy when you have things to say that. And if you're ever in a position where you don't have it, and I have been in that position. When my husband was first diagnosed with brain cancer, he did not work again for 7 years until he died. And I immediately went from my luxurious of 2 months of being home, of only having to work a little bit of part-time with our 3 young kids, to working full-time, dealing with him, I'm not going to get into that, but he was quite disabled. And it was extremely stressful. And luckily, our kids were very well behaved, and we always emphasize education, but I'm just reading these comments. So, and a lot of parents, if you come from, just here in Phoenix, I'm pretty sure like in Mexico, where a lot of our students come from, high school is not free. So a lot of parents might not have a high school education. So when you're coming from different cultures, it's just different, and yeah, it's just hard. And one of the benefits, though, just responding to another question, is that here in Arizona, at least, there is a teacher's pension that you can get, and you can also collect Social Security. So if you can stay in teaching for, it's 5 years minimum. You don't get that much if you stay for 5, but you can have both of those pensions. So you can't retire with a little bit, some security when you retire. Pensions are not really a big thing anymore. There's the scholarships and and that's a whole thing I don't want to get into, because I don't think that any government funding should go towards benefiting private schools. Sorry, I said it. No, you can, no. And yeah, what's my solution to the public education system? I don't know. I literally have no idea. I have ideas, but I don't think I don't know. You want to have parents come to school and be involved in their education, but do you want them to have to take off work? And now they're not even, able to afford. And I don't know. Plus, it seems like, we put such emphasis on things that, well, that's what I'm saying. We agree to yes, I'm going to say we agree to disagree on that. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. There should be something if you are, I would say, because I don't know too much about this. We're talking about the Hope Scholarship, which is available so that you can get into the private school um, and not be in a public school. I would say to reposition myself. I don't think there should be a lot of it, but I think that there should be some because bullying's a huge thing still. Overcrowding in the schools is a big thing. So yes, I will agree with you on that. That there should be a way out as an American. That if you're a child, and I think this should be more on a case by case. Like, yeah, Arizona is right down there. Um, and I think too, yeah, there should be a way for you to be able to say, listen, my child is it's not necessarily that they're not thriving, it's that they're actually being damaged. They need to go somewhere else. And so then I would agree with you. There should be some kind of backup from the government for its citizens. And I don't think it's technology. Yeah. Um, um, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm just reading your thing about for under-income families, many of others are new enhancement. Yeah, life is. I think the salad days of post World War II. Not to get into this. This is the same topic. I think that will never happen again. Um, my white privilege story is that Italian Americans, of which I am, my immigration story is we came over right at 1900. It was like a mass exodus from Italy because there's nothing to eat, and um, is that post World War II when the GIs came home and we had the baby boom, of which I am, 1964, last year the baby boom, was that there was redlining was legal, and that was done specifically, purposefully, I believe, across our country. The redlining was to keep Black Americans in the city and to allow for non-Black Americans, not from Cleveland, and it is incredibly racist between Italians and Blacks. And then I don't know what it is. I haven't lived there for 25 years, but so my white privilege was that we were begrudgingly allowed to become white. Otherwise, I think we would have been Middle Eastern. Yeah, yeah, I'm happy. So you're just saying there's many different people in the school. Yeah, that's great. Because oh, yeah, immigration then and now very very different. You're exactly right. Um, but I think um, okay, so also the GIs got their GI bills. They were flush with cash. So the baby boom, everyone was having kids. Everything's great. You could buy houses, and I think that was too much. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just the way things are. Somebody somewhere who controls the money who said, you know what? Too much. Middle class people are getting too much stuff. We gotta stamp it down. Now you can't even buy a house. My parents my mom didn't work until we had a financial disaster, but used to be able to buy a house. Five kids in 5 years. How immigrants is that? I'm a twin. And now you can't do that. Now you can barely live with two people in the same house working full time, and have stuff, So I think that those salad days of after World War II, those 25 years, it's never going to happen again. I think it's always going to be a struggle. I think we're going way back. We think we've advanced so much because we have all this technology, but it's the technology that's keeping us behind. So, do you have one or more weapons? And yes, which one? Do I have weapons now? Well, anything could be a weapon. No, I don't have any weapons in my house. I am considering. Oh, wait a minute! Are you casing my house? Yes, I'm fully armed here. I have some grenades from World War II. I have a bazooka. Just joking. Oh, well, good. I'm happy that someone was commenting about, I grew up poor in a single family parent house, three of us kids. However, I knew what we didn't want it to be like this. That is very difficult. That's very impressive that you've been able to pull yourself up from that to, what sounds like middle class. And good for you. Fantastic. Like I said, my family, both sides of the families have been poor forever. And then my dad, able, because of the GI Bill and redlining, was able to move into middle class. And then we were poor middle class. I'm just middle class again now. Okay, whatever. It's very, very difficult to break from being in generational poverty, to break out of that and to move up, because everything's working against you. And the education system is one of them. So that's really, I don't know you, but I'm very proud of you. And that's something that is really hard, because we can't really teach that at school, because it can be quite insulting to tell to parents or to people in general, to say that your ability to be successful is that you might have to break off relationships with people. So I don't know if you had to break off a relationship with someone in order to get out of being in the lower working class, in being poor, because it's like a lifestyle, and sometimes you have to give up relationships with people, and it's very difficult. And you don't want to say that to children, maybe in high school, but even then, you don't want to have the kids going home saying, my teacher said I should not have a relationship with you anymore because you are encouraging me to get pregnant young and go on to food stamps. You know what I'm saying? It is a sight. Thank you. I wish I could teach that. I really do. And I can't. I know it in my heart, and I try my best to just encourage education, education, education. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This person just said that he lost half of his family because they drag you down. Exactly. And this is your one experience in this world for you as a person. And then, geez, you add a child into that. You want to make that the best experience for your child. And the Airbus Eurocopter. Now, I am not up to date with all the with all the military stuff. I'm not. I'm sorry. And yeah, it's when you just had to worry in life about feeding and clothing your family was one thing, but now you got all this technology too. It's expensive. I mean, I paid like $75 a month for cable. No, for internet. I don't even have cable. And I only have internet because I'm doing YouTube. So, I'm sorry, I'm reading to this Airbus. That's right. This person is saying how he's being helpful to his friends. I'm sorry, his children's friends too. But you're a role model. You're a role model, and if you have the experience of being broke, or even growing up that way, you don't want to go back there. I mean, I joke that we were temporarily poor for 20 years. It was really hard because we were middle class and we got shoved right off the cliff, right back into being broke. And I think the positive thing for me was that I learned how to live on a cash only basis, which is really important. It is so easy now to get credit, and those credit cards are, oh, bye, Marco, Coke, I'm sorry, Coke. Bye, thanks for being here, I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Okay. What? Oh, when my kids started getting credit card offers, when they were like 16 years old, I just throw it away. I don't care. I'm breaking the federal law. Schoenwinder. Okay, I'm going to look that. Maybe I'll look that up. All right, bye. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I really do. And most Americans will just go into debt. You're taught the American way is to spend, 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 and live the life that you're going to have, not the life that you do have. And because life is just so very, very expensive. So, yeah, he's saying connections and networking um, have really helped. Yeah, you have to surround yourself with people that are going to support you. And that's the one thing I do tell the kids. I said, make sure, and I'm in elementary, so I'm in K through eighth grade, and we think the eighth graders are like adults, but then you see high school, and you're like, okay, these are just kids, just in comparison to the littles. But if you're around someone all the time, excuse me, and they make you feel bad, don't be around them. And a lot of school is just you're friends with people just based on proximity. You're only friends with that person because they're in your class. And then if you're in a school like ours, which is, we have a lot of kids that have been there for all 9 years. So it's a very nice little community. And then you have kids that move in and out, whatever. But I said, sometimes you're going to find out that the person you think is your best friend is really your enemy. You're just comfortable with them. You have to make sure that you're with someone that when they leave, do you feel good about the experience that you had with them? Or do you feel bad? You got to really decide, because that's your comfort zone. That's the other thing too, is that if you are, that's just the way things are. It's very hard to break out of that comfort zone. And that's for anything. Toxic relationships. Why is it so hard for people to get out of toxic relationships? Well, that's your normal. Anything that's your normal and you trying to get out of it is very difficult. Very difficult. In our family, I tried to raise our daughters to be very honest. We don't have any hidden agendas. I'm the child of a narcissistic mother, and everything was like a conspiracy with her. Everything was like, I think though one of the most important things I have done as an adult is I read this book called, I don't even know what the book's called now, but I read it as part of something when I was working in real estate, so about 20 years ago. It was about being accountable. And it was about doing what you say you're going to do and not lying. And the average person, yeah, it would be nice to have male teachers. We don't have a lot of male teachers. I think because teaching here in the States is still seen like a woman's job, and especially in the younger grades. It seems like there's something like, what's wrong with you? Why are you a teacher? So it's kind of, which is wrong, because men are parents too, just like women. And sometimes it's really beneficial. I know that like the PE teacher is a man. It is it's really beneficial for the kids um, to have the masculine part of interactions on a day-to-day basis. And you try to be to be accountable for your actions. That's what I was saying, accountability. I'm going to go backwards now. And the thing that the book, and there's a lot to it. It's like, and I'm talking about if someone says to you, did you mail that letter? And you say, oh yeah, I mailed the letter, but you haven't because it's on your desk and you didn't put it in the mailbox. You just told a lie. And it took me a long time to adjust my behavior. So now I would say, I did not mail the letter. I'm sorry, I will mail it right now. But as you go further into being totally accountable for everything, is that I would not say that I would mail it if I couldn't. I would say, listen, I'm not going to be able to do it today or tomorrow. It's going to happen on this day. Which is why I was a very bad salesperson, because I cannot sell things. I was in property management, the lowest of the real estate, but being accountable for your actions, that was like life-changing for me. I can tell lies, but I will immediately tell on myself. And I have no filter, which is very difficult when I'm in school, because you got to temper what you're saying to these little kids. You can't be saying, well, you're, whatever. So, yeah, being accountable. I can't remember what this book is called. It's just accountability, and it's a pretty small book, and it's just, it's because lying, and people are like, the little lies, it was a white lie, it doesn't matter. It's like, those little white lies do matter. They absolutely do matter. I tell my kids, if I ask someone in my family, do I look bad in this dress? They better say, yeah, you look bad in that dress, and they will. So, oh yeah. And you need to have both parents. And this might not be a popular thing to say today, but men are men and women are women. And you need both of those interactions with children. And it's especially important for children to have their opposite parent. I know when my husband died, our kids were 11, 13, and 17. And the 11 and 13-year-olds did not handle that well at all. And even though he had been disabled and really for 7 years, he was still there. So there's something about quality time, and then there's quantity time. You might think spending a good hour with your kids on the weekend or 2 hours on the weekend with your kids is good because you're focused on them. It's also quantity time. You might be just asleep in your room. The kid gets up to get a drink of water, and they are comforted by the fact that you are in there and you're there for them. Yeah. He's just saying you should want more for your kids. You should encourage them. And absolutely. And so like when my husband, his only job while he was, I guess, waiting to die, if you have the kind of brain tumor he had, was pretty much you're going to die from this. So we were just kind of in a holding pattern. And then when his cancer came back out of remission, it was pretty fast. I would say about 2 months. But his only responsibility was to spend time with the kids when he could. So that is why I don't know how to play video games. I do not know how to use a controller because that was his job. Yeah. Yes. He's saying too many families are saying the same, we're going backwards. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. And that is why things are going to remain a mess in our country because people are not, you have the illusion that you are doing well because you have a beautiful TV and you have an expensive phone. Do you really need a $900 phone? Oh, thank you for saying that about my husband. He was a wonderful person. Can honestly say nothing bad about him. And that's not because he has been sainted because he passed away. You know, some people are like, when they were alive, they were horrible. As soon as they died, they're wonderful. It's not like that. So, and I kept him alive for them. I just have and continue to talk about him every single day. So, yeah. But I think the trappings of our society is what keeps people being like a slave to the wage, so to speak. So, like, we don't have a slave labor force anymore because of but it's almost like working class people, of which there are more. The middle class is getting much smaller. The wealthy get wealthier. That's getting bigger. Middle class is shrinking. And a lot of people think that, like my daughter and her husband are both lawyers. They're not rich. They're middle class. I am poor. I am working class. I say middle class just because I have the mentality of it. But I am technically in the working class, and I am just right at middle class. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Yeah, our country, there's this person is, come on up, sweetie. I'm talking to a cat. Come on. We live in a deeply divided country here in the United States, as evidenced by our history. And it is a multi-generational thing that is going to be really difficult to overcome. So our unity, a lot of the unity was around different things as a country. So like World War II, everyone was in it. You know, it was like we had a focus, and once that's over, now it's Americans against Americans, and it's just because we have a really big country, and it is really difficult to get things accomplished. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, so we had like um, in like when I was in school, we really learned all the sports, right? We were really into that. Everything was about apple pie, baseball. Everything was just very, very American, like that. And now we've kind of gotten away from that. We don't have one America. Now we have like two groups of Americans, and God forbid you don't fall in one of those groups. Um, that's why I don't like to talk about politics because it's it's not good. It's not good to talk about politics because you might be in a we don't even learn enough about politics in school, and then we expect children turn 18 to vote when it used to be 21. And I used to know why they changed it from 21 to 18, and I think it's because we had servicemen. Oh, my family member's aunt, that's a teacher that wouldn't talk to me because I support Trump. See, I will talk to you. I do not support Trump, and I will still talk to you because that is what makes a democracy work is when you have two different viewpoints. And then we have to try and find some kind of middle ground. And then I think also it depends on why they wouldn't talk to you because you support Trump would definitely depend on what kind of Trump supporter you were. So, oh, thank you. I am civil. Because if you're like, I don't talk to anyone who's too terribly extreme, because it's the political party. I believe in the political party system, so I'm a Democrat. I vote with my party. Some people are Republican. Are Republican. They vote with their party. Some people think it's all about Trump, and the president is only so powerful. They can do executive orders and do certain things, but really, the president is just a representative of their political party, and you just have to think of that. We don't teach students. Oh, that's what I was saying. So I think we changed the age from 21 to 18 because we had servicemen and women who were in the military who weren't allowed to vote. I know that was true in England because England still had. Because they didn't own land. Because in England, you had to own land to be able to vote. That's what that was all about. Landed gentry. I don't, you know what? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say, I'm reading your immigration. She lost me on, so I'm going to assume you're talking about, I'm going to say her name wrong, our Democratic nominee. These are very, the abortion thing, that is very, very personal to people. I'll lose you probably on this. That's the only thing I vote on is a woman's right to her reproductive health. That's the whole thing for me. And that's supported by Democrats. That's why I'm a Democrat. If all of a sudden it switched to Republican, I'd be a Republican. But I forgot what I was saying. So I just, it's hard. In our country, our founding fathers did not want our country to be a two-party system. They really did not want it to be. We are a two-party system. If you vote for a third party, you're wasting your vote. Sorry, but it's true. So you have the Green Party. We even have the Nazi Party still. Is that interesting? Are they on the ballot? Nope. But they still exist. There's all kinds of parties. So now we have a two-party system, and that's what really divides the country because we don't even have, and I don't know too much about this, but I know in other countries, you'll have groups that will okay, so you have group A, B, and C, and A and C don't really like each other, okay? And then you have groups E, F, and G. They'll group together. You have 6 different groups, and 3 will group together, and 3 will group together to vote against the other group. We don't have any system like that. We just have the 2 basic parties that are in power, and yeah, and yeah, well, we vote for elected officials, yes, to vote for us because we have a democratic, we have a representative republic. So we vote for people to vote for us. But then once they're in the government, once they're in the legislature and they are voting on things, it is not democratic there. No, no, it is not. And it is very, very different. We have all the lobbies. It's very complicated. It's too complicated actually to teach in school, but there should be something in high school that teaches people how to choose what political party they're going to vote for. You don't even have to vote for a political. I don't know. It's just, it's messed up. And what's the solution to that? I don't know. We're going to have a lot of turmoil on it. We have the 60s. God forbid we have the Equal Rights Amendment. The Civil Rights Amendment. Sorry, Equal Rights was an amendment for women. The Civil Rights, well, look what happened to that. A whole bunch of people got killed. I don't know. It's just, so I'm not paying attention to anything political now. I already know who I'm voting for. I'm not going to change my mind. I don't care what they say. Yeah. We are very apart. And because people vote based on religion, we are not supposed to have a religion in our government. Look at France. France doesn't even want, in the Olympics, they did something about religion in France because they are a non-religious country. I don't know. We have freedom of religion here. That's because our founding fathers all believed in different religions. So, yeah. So it wasn't that our country was supposed to be not religious. It was that no one could agree or agree on their religion. So like Ohio was supposed to be for, no, I forgot. Utah was for Mormons. Maryland was for Catholics. Pennsylvania was for Protestants. All the states were supposed to be different people so you could go there and live and everyone's the same religion. And it's not, they don't teach you that in school. That's college level. So, yeah, will our country ever agree? No. It's always going to be a problem. Those are always going to be the hot buttons are going to be abortion, because that is deeply religious to some people. I mean, their viewpoint on it, and to other people like me. I grew up Catholic and I am an atheist. Oh my God, a whole bunch of people are going to hate me now. But again, it's the two different viewpoints should come together to have some kind of meeting of the minds in a reasonable fashion. And can our country do it? I don't know, So, I mean, we are taught in school that people came here for freedom of religion. And that's kind of true. Yeah. I was raised a Catholic. I'll have a whole video on that too. I don't have it right now. But one of the reasons why people came over here was just for prosperity, because there was so much land here. And there was just an opportunity that you couldn't, when you have royalty, you couldn't just buy land. You had to be part of the aristocracy or royalty. But here you can have land and you could celebrate your religion if you have, whatever your religion was. And you can celebrate it and you can enjoy your religion in peace. And, but a lot of, I'm looking at my cat, she's doing something weird. What are you doing? Where are you at? Look at you. What are you doing? It's getting to snack time. Hi, you bumping me? You bumping me? Don't bump my arm. My arm hurts. But there was a lot of land here and a lot of ways to make money. So one of the things that the Native Americans gave to us, which I think is ironic and funny, was that, not enough ironic and funny, but addiction to tobacco was also what made our country great. So when some of the explorers went back to the old world, they brought some Indians back. I'm going to call them Indians because that's what they were called back then. Which comes from the word Indios, which means children of God. So, whatever. Anyway, they brought back with them the tobacco seeds, and tobacco then was thought to be very healthy for you. Tobacco, and I learned this in school, tobacco is a very, very difficult crop to grow. You need a lot of land, so a lot of people came over here. Rich people came over, bought up a whole bunch of land, and that is, I'm sorry, to grow your crops, because you can only use 1/4 of your land, or 1/3, I forgot, of your land to grow the tobacco, rotation, all that good stuff. Crop rotation. So it wasn't just for religion, it was to make money, because there was a lot of land. If you just discount that there were already people living on it, right? And how could you discount those people? Because they didn't believe in your religion. Interesting. And I'm not going to get into the whole slavery thing, but really, our country was great because of addiction to tobacco and slavery. People don't want to believe that, but that's the truth. As I see it, based on several readings, of which I cannot quote right now because I don't remember. Where's that cat? Is that a cat? Oh, there's a cat right behind me now. So, well, gross. Not everybody. No, one time, well, the original people, I would say, depends on who you're talking about. So we're talking about American history. So a lot of people came over because some religions were not fun. So, it used to be, the original group. Okay. We're talking about the original groups who came over. So a lot of people did, they came over because their religion was not fun. And people, we still had a lot of, this is with Christianity, we still had a lot of paganism, or however you would say it now. So yeah, you did come over here so you could practice your religion in peace, the originals. But then I'm talking about after that. So, and did you know the Puritans had the same rate of children out of wedlock as in our 1970s? Interesting. So, yep. Yeah. All right. Wow. An hour and 32 minutes. Yeah. We're not a very tolerant country. We're sort of, you either do it my way or you're my enemy. So it's, yeah. But, laws affect people's lives, obviously. So it just depends on, I'm primarily thinking about the abortion issue. So, like, I know someone who they found out in their. Oh, okay. For me personally, here you go. I was temporarily pregnant for like a week, and I went. Okay, so I took the pee stick, and I was pregnant, and this is 32 years ago. Peed on the stick, I was pregnant. Went to the doctor, had a blood test, I wasn't pregnant. Had a different blood test, I was pregnant. In my 4th month, 2nd trimester, it was discovered that my body had a natural miscarriage, or technically an abortion, but it didn't come out. So I had to have emergency surgery. I had to have an abortion. So we just called it a medical procedure because there was no life form. It did not come out. And it was very dangerous that if all of a sudden my body would reject that and would come out, that I could have died. So how would that be viewed today, or whatever, in certain states? Like, would I have been allowed to have that procedure? I don't know. How would that have affected me? I wouldn't have the other 2 kids I have now. So And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to find a common ground on that. That's your personal belief. I'm talking to groups of people need to have a common ground. That's how we make laws. But as an individual, yeah, man, believe what you're going to believe. Believe it wholeheartedly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I won't change my belief. We're the opposite. We are magnets that will not ever join up together on that for you. We will be the opposites. But so from my personal experience, that would have been very difficult because it's technically, medically, and in reality, it was an abortion, but there was no life form because unfortunately, I had a natural miscarriage in that first couple of days that I was pregnant, which is really common. But how would that have affected me? How would the laws have affected me? I could have spontaneously, it could have come out and I could have bled to death, or it could have affected my fertility in the future. Because if you have tissue in your body that's not supposed to be in there, your body will calcify it. So I could have had like a tumor. I don't know if it's called a tumor, something like I don't know what you would call it, but it would be something that would be wrapped around in calcium to protect it. But in my uterus, it would have made me infertile. So, yeah. So I think, you have to be, you have to be accountable. So anyway, all right, sorry, my cat was doing something. All right, well, this was great. I enjoy talking to people about different topics like this, and it's easier when we are doing it like this because it makes it so that no one gets too overheated and no one's screaming at each other. And look, we were able to do all this. I'm still smiling. I hope you're smiling. I'm very impressed with you bringing up your family like that. Oh, okay. Your message just came in about that. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to that. So I don't know. I don't know. You don't know. You don't know until you know, right? So, you have a great day too. All right, I'm going to go now. I really enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate everyone who was here. I hope it'd be nice if people could like and subscribe. And I will do a video on my experience working with all my disabilities. Are they disabilities? All my health problems. So, all right, have a fantastic day. Enjoy every day that you're here. It's your unique experience. Go enjoy it. Go put your foot on the ground. Go outside. Do something nice. All right, thank you so much. Good. I will look forward to seeing you in the future. Popping up on here, Mr. James? Yes. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.